Okay, welcome to Groot, and thank you both so much for taking time out and coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks. First of all, I have to say I love the whole background there. Like you got like all those things lined up with the lights. It looks like pumpkins, like one on top of the other, right?
Giant pumpkin stacks.
That is so awesome. I love that. Halloween season is the best. Like that's my all-time best time of the year. I like it better than Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Us too.
Yeah. So like the first thing I wanted to ask is for Ryan. Like you wrote, created, and direct uh of a bunch of short horror films. The Pump Pumpkin Man. And what inspired you to create them and make all those horror shorts?
The Pumpkin Man really came from my frustration with Pumpkinhead. Because when I saw that movie when I was younger, I was expecting a pumpkin-headed monster, and I did not get a pumpkin-headed monster. So I kind of made it my life's goal to make that pumpkin-headed monster and bring him to life, and that's how it all started.
That's smart. Like I felt the same way too when I first saw that movie. I was like, "Oh, this is probably going to be really cool. It's some kind of demon with a pumpkin on his head." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, it's a demon, but no pumpkin."
Pumpkin.
It's
He looked more
did
like an
you,
alien.
did you both ever see that one Jacko?
Oh yeah,
Yes, we
yeah.
did.
We've seen Jacko.
So that was more like, it's a demon with the pumpkin head.
Yeah, yeah. We recently saw Jacko, and we actually didn't know about it until after we had completed filming the Pumpkin Man, and someone had commented on Instagram. They were like, "Have you ever seen Jacko? I think it was also filmed in Florida." And we looked at it and we are like, "Man, this is very similar, but totally different feeling from our movie." But also like kind of funny that someone else in Florida was like, "Hey, let's make a pumpkin headed killer movie."
At that point, we
Right?
were committed, so we had to just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, well, yeah. How many short films was it? It's a few of them, right?
Six total.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of short films. He's definitely along the lines of like a Freddy, Jason, and Michael.
He's got a lot of history.
Definitely. And I saw Jeff Rhodes was was in your shorts, and he's the one who always played the demon, but
Mhm.
you played the demon in Demon of Fall and the full the full length film. So what made you choose that? You wanted to play him now.
So he played him when we were making the short films in Indiana, and then when I moved to Florida, he stayed in Indiana. So it was like, okay, well, he can't really play Pumpkin Man anymore, and I decided to play the character because we've had situations before where we've had like the person playing the monster cancel on us. And we never wanted to go through that again, especially when we were making an indie feature film. We didn't have the flexibility to be able to have someone cancel. So I was like, I never want the Pumpkin Man to not show up on set when everyone else is there. So I was like, and plus, I wear stilts when I'm dressed up as the Pumpkin Man, and
Oh, really?
for safety concerns and for insurance concerns, we decided that I would take on that risk, and if I get injured, then that's fine.
He decided that.
Well, it's all for the love of the film, right?
Absolutely.
and and like how's the mask and the costume and everything, like is it hard to stay in that for
um, It depends on the environment that I'm in. So when we do conventions, and we were at Spookala in June, June. That was June. Spooky Empire was May.
Oh, okay.
But we had a booth at Spookala, and I was in costume all weekend long for 8 hours a day. And because it's air conditioned, there's no sun beating me in the face. It was a lot easier to stay in costume for long periods of time. But we live in Florida, and we shot this during the summer. So I mean, it was like near 100 degrees when we were shooting this outside. And I'm in a silicone mask with a costume on top of that, and then a jacket on top of that costume, a leather jacket on top of that costume. So
that's even worse.
There was only one scene of the entire movie that we filmed where the temperature was actually down to the 30s, and that was the only time when we were filming the movie that I didn't break a sweat.
Oh my god. And Ryan's wife, what's your name first of all?
Janae.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, like, you're part of the film that's out. Well, is it out or it's coming out?
It's out,
yep.
yeah.
Okay, it's out now. So you're part of the film, and you co-write, you help direct it too. So what made you choose you wanted to come on board for the film?
When we first started dating back in 2019, we kind of like hit off on a mutual ground and understanding that we loved storytelling and video. And at the time I was a TV news reporter, he was working in video as well. So we both have surrounded ourselves with video our whole lives. And before we ever knew each other, at around 7 years old, we both had the dream to work on a movie set. And as I got older, I just kind of saw that dream start to evolve into different things. So like news became my new Hollywood. And so when I met him and I knew that he was still trying to make short films, I said, well, I want to be a supportive girlfriend, and I know a little bit about storytelling too, and I can definitely help wherever it's needed. So we've always just been a tag team, and I don't know that it would be half as good as it is if I wasn't there, because sometimes Ryan gets overwhelmed and shuts down completely. So I have to be the one that keeps it going on set and gets everyone else in line. And I have to kind of like pull him aside and encourage him and let him know that we will get through this and we'll do it. And even if we have to reshoot something 3 times before we get it right, we're going to get it right.
Oh, okay. See, that's great. You both work well with one another.
Yeah, that's why I married her.
And what scene from the film did you both love most?
I think it's a bit of a spoiler if we say it, because
Do you have the same scene?
As far as filming it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say.
So without spoiling, I don't act much. And when we first started this, Ryan, my sister's the actress in the family. She was actually the one in Demon of Fall. And unfortunately, she's in Indiana. So a lot of Indiana going on here. But she was in Indiana for college at the time. So we couldn't, book her for multiple shoots at a time because she was in a different state for school. So first Ryan had approached me and said, I think you need to be our lead actress. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, this movie's gonna suffer if we do that. So luckily we found Barbara, but we still needed some background characters. So I did play a background character, and there's a particular scene in the 3rd act with me, and that was honestly the most fun to shoot. Because we were both acting, but also both directing.
And that was the scene where it was 30 degrees, and that was the scene where it felt, because like, I'm from Indiana, but we don't get fall weather too often, and when we do get fall weather, it's more in like January and February. So that was actually a reshoot scene that we were doing, and it was one of those nights where it just got down to like 35 degrees, and everybody else is bundled up in hoodies, and I'm in my regular costume. I'm like, finally, this is awesome. This is great. Feels wonderful out. We had some hot chocolates, and
I was the one freezing because
yeah,
I had to look like I was just in a jean and flannel. So
yeah,
I think that helped me sell how scared I was in that my character was in that scene. So I'm thankful for that.
yeah. It was definitely fun because it felt like fall. We were acting off of each other, and we were both directing at the same time.
Oh, okay. And what do you both love most about this film? About making it? You know, you both working on it together and making it.
I think for me, what I like the most is just that it's a 7 year long dream come true. Ever since we started making Pumpkin Man short films, I always wanted to make a feature. And I particularly love how we were able to just totally encapsulate the holiday of Halloween and like bring that to the forefront of the film and have that be the aesthetic throughout the whole thing.
I agree with that because, like I had mentioned, it was a dream come true for both of our childhood dreams. But at the same time, like we were able to premiere this last year before we did some reshoots and made it a better version of the film for the eventual release this September. But just being in a theater with 200 people and letting the cast and ourselves kind of sit back, watch the movie, hear those reactions during the moments that we tried so hard to get those reactions for, but also that applause at the end when everyone was like, that was amazing. And it just like that's something we want to experience again.
Especially
Yeah.
because like I would say a good 50% of the audience that was there expected a home video, like real bad quality, like shot on our phones, and they were all like really taken aback at the quality of it. So that was nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of films that are like that, that it looks like it was shot on a phone, or the quality isn't good, the sound it isn't good. So like that's good that you made it look along the lines of like a Bloomhouse film.
Yeah, I definitely think our executive producer has always said he thinks it punches way above its pay grade because it definitely looks a lot more expensive than it is, but it also still looks like a fun indie movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And where did you guys wind up filming at? Like, was there like a bunch of different areas that you filmed at, or one area?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we primarily filmed at like our apartment, friends' houses. There used to be this awesome place in Orlando called Studio Lot Orlando that just had a bunch of different sets, and we used a few of those. But the crown jewel of this whole film is Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. This is a local haunted house in Plant City, Florida, and
Okay.
we approached them and asked, can we film this movie here? And they were like, sure, what do you need?
Oh,
And they provided extras, they provided the most wonderful hospitality. They have awesome haunted house sets that we were just allowed to use and film in. And we over the last 2 years we just have become really good friends with them, and we can't say enough good things about
Yeah,
them.
we absolutely appreciate all that they've done to help us because without their sets, this
mhm.
movie wouldn't be the quality that it
No, not
is.
even
And
close.
Oh, really?
yeah, we will always thank them and support them for their generosity to us.
Wow. Okay. And where did you wind up finding the cast at? Like that, the cast was really good in this movie.
We found a lot of so we had posted auditions on Backstage
Oh
and
yeah.
we found our lead, Barbara Dessa, and she really brought in a lot of people. We Stephanie Curvis, she was another one who we found through Backstage, but pretty much everyone else was friends of Barbie that either were high school drama kids
Mhm.
or had some type of acting background. Even some of the crew that was brought on board, that was all through Barbie. So we are so thankful for her too, because this movie wouldn't be half of
Right.
what it is today if we didn't have all of those people helping us.
We did find one other person on Backstage, or two other people. We found Christy Reef on Backstage, and then we got the most amazing audition known to mankind from Josh Rutgers, who plays Hank Carver in the film. And I'll spoil just a little bit. Hank Carver doesn't make it. He's a minor character, but you know, I posted when we put the audition out, I posted the death scene and basically said like, this is the kill that kicks off the movie. Like this is the first of you know, after the Pumpkin Man is summoned, this is the one. And he like audition, like he messaged me and he's like, dude, you have to let me play this part. I need to, I like the Pumpkin Man needs to kill me. I need this in my life. And I was like, all right, I'll send you the script. And I sent him the scene, just expecting him to do a self tape, you know, recording himself up against a wall like we had seen a million times before. No, this man, he and his wife recreated the entire scene with a Nerf gun and everything in his backyard. He threw himself on the ground and screamed so his neighbors could hear him. It still remains my favorite audition I think I will ever see.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Opportunity putting that audition in our behind the scenes.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh, it's in there?
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay, good.
and and what I love about horror films is, you know, when you go to see the movie, the music that they have, the score, like you know exact, you know when the killer is about to come just by a note. So how did you wind up finding the person who did the score for your film?
So he is actually my best friend of 28 years. I just, you know, he and I have always been very creative people. His name's Connor Edvardi. I've known him since I was born. And, you know, I've always been interested in movies. He's always been interested in music. And, you know, we've worked together on stuff, you know, to before, not quite to this scale, but once we had, you know, our executive producer who was willing to put money behind this, I was like, hey, this is going to be like the most daunting task, but can you score a feature film? And he was like, if you pay me. uh, and you know, obviously
Down to the dollar.
yeah. And but no, he absolutely he crushed it. He knocked it out of the park. You know, I truly believe that the score gives the film a lot of character, and you know, it put his own, you know, stamp on it, and I couldn't be happier that I am best friends with someone that can just make the music for me.
Oh wow, yeah, and I'm sure he does, since you're like his really good friend. He probably doesn't charge you the full price that he would charge another person.
I'm positive he doesn't.
And this is Halloween season, so do you two have any plans to go to any haunts or haunted houses and hay rides and all that fun stuff, Halloween parties?
We've already been to several. We get the frequent fear pass for Halloween Horror Nights, and pretty much every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday you can find me there. And then Janae will be there every like Wednesday and Sunday and Fridays.
We get the most out of our passes,
yeah,
for sure. And in fact, like when we first started writing this, it was the year that Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin, Pumpkin was at Horror Nights, and that was his favorite house. And he would literally get off work, go straight to Halloween Horror Nights, walk through it like 5 or 6 times, as many times as he could before the line got too long, and then literally drive home and start writing the script.
Yeah.
So
Really?
it was the motivation for him.
You know, it put me in the right mindset, because like I'm physically walking through this immersive experience that is all Halloween and all pumpkins, and then I would come back, light some pumpkin spice candles, grab a pumpkin spice beer, and just go to town. And you know, it perfectly like put me in the mindset. But actually, this last weekend we did the media night for Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, because they are opening this upcoming weekend. And they just added a haunted hayride, which is so cool. You know, like in Florida, they don't really do haunted hay rides here. You know, in my favorite haunted house of all time is the Niles Green Park in Niles, Michigan, and I love the haunted hay ride up there. And I didn't realize how much I missed haunted hay rides until we sat down on the one at Sir Henry's, and I could smell the hay and I could smell the gas from the tractor, and I was like, oh my God, my entire childhood is just coming back to me right now.
So you both do like the whole pumpkin spice thing, like you do the coffee, the bear, the
I
food.
definitely do it more. Janae's not a coffee drinker, so she doesn't do pumpkin spice coffee so much, but Starbucks was kind enough to do a pumpkin spice chai latte this year. So
yeah, we've both been drinking a lot of that.
Yeah.
There you go. And what about horror films? Like, are there any Halloween horror films that you both love watching during this season?
I think we both have the same answer. We both love Halloween.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably both of our favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
But we don't limit it just to that. You know, I am always, when Janae's like, well, you can put on anything you want, I will always put on a horror movie. even if you can put on anything you want actually means I want to watch something in particular. No, it's still going to be a horror movie.
And like, I'm still very new to the horror community, so I've scratched the surface on some films. He's educated me in the classics, so that's why I love Halloween, but there's still a lot that I have not explored.
Yeah.
So we still have a long list of stuff that he wants me to watch.
Yeah. I just over the weekend, No One Will Save You came out, and that's honestly one of the best horror movies I've seen in like the last 10 years. It's so good. And she hasn't watched it yet, and I cannot wait to show it to her, because that movie was awesome.
You know, I didn't see that one yet. I have to see it. I did see Nun 2 and Talk to Me. Like, I saw them. I still have to see that one yet.
Yeah, we saw The Nun 2, and we both really, really liked it. We haven't watched Talk to Me yet, but it's on our list.
I think The Nun 2 was a lot better than the first one. The first one kind of like dragged out a little bit, but the second one was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, there was the use of practical effects, especially a practical monster costume near the end. That was icing on the cake for me. I loved that thing.
And now, is Killer Clowns on your list to show your wife?
I have seen it.
She's already seen it. Yep. I wasn't gonna let her get very long without seeing Killer Clowns. Killer Clowns is too good.
It is, yes. And do you both do like horror cons too and stuff?
The ones here in Florida.
Yeah, we've been to Spookala and Spooky Empire for the past 2 to 3 years, just because they're very local. And Spooky Empire has a film festival attached to it, which we've been showing some of our films the last 3 years. So that holds a special place in our hearts too. Yeah. And we'll be at both conventions with a physical booth to sell DVDs this October.
And Pumpkin Man will be there, full costume, being extremely snarky. Yeah, okay. Every time we do these conventions, you know, it's one thing for me to be there and be like, you know, hey, we have this cool movie about the Pumpkin Man. It's another thing for the Pumpkin Man to be there and be like, watch that movie or he'll die.
And if he's not at the booth, we get nobody stopping by. Yeah. So it's very critical that he is there and in costume.
Yes.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. I know if I seen a big giant demon, that I would probably walk over to the table and see what this is all about.
And you know what's really cool about the conventions is, like, you know, this movie just came out a few weeks ago. So not very many people have seen it. And it's been really cool over the last 2 years to go to these conventions dressed as the Pumpkin Man and see how many people just want to take pictures based off of the costume alone. And then we get to hit them with, well, if you like this costume, you're gonna love the movie that he was in. So it's really been cool to like grow our network just by people thinking that the Pumpkin Man looks cool.
That's very smart. I like that. And is there anything coming up for you both too? Like, you know, this movie's out. Is there anything else you're working on too?
The Pumpkin Man too. The script has been written for the Pumpkin Man 2. We're still doing stuff for pre-production, but hopefully sometime next year, Pumpkin Man 2 will begin filming.
Oh wow, nice.
Probably
And
in
I
the
noticed.
summer again.
Probably.
Okay. I noticed your awesome shirts and hats and everything. So, do you sell merch for Pumpkin Man?
So we do. It's not on the website yet, but the same website that you can buy the Blu-ray at, which is screamteamreleasing.com. We just recently sent them all of our t-shirts and everything, which they're going to be selling on their website. So as soon as that's up, people can look at our social media, and we will be posting as soon as the merchandise is available online. And we'll be selling some of it at the conventions, Spooky Empire and Spookala this October.
Nice. Well, where can fans follow you both at?
The best place to follow is on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. At Pumpkin Man Film is our handle, and you can find all of our updates, all of our links to everything there. And then if anyone wants to buy the film, it's on screamteamreleasing.com.
Sweet. Well, thank thank you both for doing the interview, coming on the show. It was really fun chatting and meeting you both, and I always love talking about horror and Halloween. So this has been
We do too.
a real treat for me.
Well, thank you for having us. We
Yes,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Definitely. Well, have a great night and happy Halloween.
You
Happy
too.
Halloween to
Happy
you too.
Halloween.
Thank you.
Thanks.